So the worst kept secret in Formula 1 is now out. Nicholas Latifi will be driving for Williams alongside George Russell in 2020. Now, a lot of us saw this coming, guys. You know, Robert Kubica was announced that he will be leaving the team a few months ago, and to be fair, there's only one guy that was going to replace him. In fact, I think the rumours started when Nicholas Latifi started doing FP1 outings all the way back in Canada. So that's when the rumours kind of started. So yes, it's out. Latifi is in the team for 2020, which also means we now have a full 2020 F1 grid for next season. So now we can concentrate on the racing, kind of, for the last time this season, focus on the winter, get that over and done with into pre-season without any rumours or any, anything to do with drivers or anything. We just kind of forget that and move on forward. So I'll be giving my thoughts in a little bit, but before I do, I'm just going to read out this statement that was said by Nicholas Latifi just moments after he was announced as the Williams driver. He said, "I am thrilled to be stepping up as a race driver for 2020. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with the team this year, supporting them with the development of the car and assisting wherever I can trackside and at the factory. I look forward to the journey ahead with my team, and I am excited to make my Formula 1 debut at the Australian Grand Prix in 2020. Deputy Team Principal Claire Williams also said, "I am delighted to announce that Nicholas will be stepping up to the role of race driver to partner George in 2020. All of us at Williams have been immensely impressed at what he has achieved this year in the FIA Formula 2 series, along with his commitment to the team and the work he has put in behind the scenes. Nicholas has become an established and well-respected member of Williams, and we look forward to him stepping up into his new role as we look to fight our way back to the midfield." So yeah, Latifi is now in Formula 1. It's been a long time coming, really. He's been in Formula 2 or GP2 as it was called since 2014, and almost like Antonio Giovinazzi, a lot of us thought that Latifi's kind of move to Formula 1 was gone, dead and buried, but he was thrown a lifeline, got in it with Williams after being released by Force India, Racing Point as they were called when they changed in 2018, as their reserve driver, signed with Williams, brought his money along with him, and of course now is their full-time driver. So there was rumours that Hulkenberg was going to be in that seat at some point, but really Latifi brings in a lot of money with him, which Williams do need. And of course George Russell as well, he brings in some money as well. And that's a battle I'm really looking forward to seeing, because George Russell, I've been impressed with him this season, but a lot of people haven't, because he's been at the back of the grid, of course, and he hasn't really had the car to really showcase his talents. Now, I know he's beaten Kubica fair and square in kind of the out race and battle race, if you want to call it that, in between the race and qualifying. But really, Nick, as like I said before, when Kubica was announced to be Williams' driver, I said that George Russell was more prepared for Formula 1 than Robert Kubica. But now I think George Russell has a better teammate at his hands, because and you know that Latifi's been in Formula 2. He has been driving the car in FP1s quite a few times this season, and like I said, he is more prepared for Formula 1 than Kubica was. So I think we're going to be seeing a good battle between these two. Maybe I think George will probably do a better job than Latifi, but I can't see George Russell whitewashing Latifi as what he's been doing with Robert Kubica this season. So it will be very interesting to see how these two get on, as Williams, like Claire Williams said in a statement, to fight their way back to the midfield. Can't wait to see that one. So going on to some Formula 2 news now. Now, I know we are a Formula 1 channel, of course, but we don't really talk about Formula 2 that much. So I'm going to be discussing some things that have been announced today, some driver lineups, and one in particular that I really want to talk about. One was announced this morning, and then four came after that. So I was just like, I'll talk about them all just a little bit. I'll just give you what's going on in the situation, and then of course I'll talk about the big one at the end. So British racing driver Callum Ilott has signed for the Uni Virtuosi team, I believe I said that right, for 2020 in Formula 2. Very, very exciting to see that. He moves from the Sauber Junior team, so he'll be going to that team for next season. Giuliano Lacey, the son of Shawnee Lacey, will be driving for the brand new HWA racing team, who will move from Formula 3 to Formula 2 in 2020. Juliana will be moving from Trident and will be teaming up with the Russian driver Artem Markelov, who returns to Formula 2 full-time for 2020. A new face is coming to Formula 2 next season. F3 runner-up Marcus Armstrong will move to Formula 2 with ART, probably to replace the outgoing Nick de Vries, who of course is now racing full-time in Formula E, and this weekend will mark his last appearance in Formula 2 for that team. So yeah, I think that's a good move. Very, very excited for Marcus Armstrong to see what he can do in Formula 2. But the big one, the one I am very excited to see for next season, is the news that Robert Schwartzman, who won the brand new Formula 3 series last season, will be moving to Prima alongside Mick Schumacher. Now, I am a big fan of Robert Schwartzman. I really am. I was really impressed with him in his first Formula 3 season last year, when of course the series was renamed after it was called GB3 back in 2018. So yeah, I am so looking forward to see what he can do alongside Mick Schumacher. Now, those two were kind of rivals in F3 in the European series when Mick Schumacher won that series when he was going up against Dan Ticktum. And speaking of Dan Ticktum, apparently he's going to be coming back into Formula 2 next season, I think with Dams, where Nicholas Latifi will be leaving the team, alongside Sean Galale, who Schwartzman will be replacing for next season. So a bit of a switch around at Prima, but these two are really good. Now, Robert Schwartzman, for me, I'm more of a fan of Schwartzman than I am of Mick Schumacher. Now, Schumacher undoubtedly is a really good driver. I'm not on the Mick Schumacher bandwagon. But if Mick continues with this form of second season championship contender, if you like, then I'm pretty certain that Robert Schwartzman will also be there, and we could also see a bit of inter-team battling in Formula 2 next season. And I think this is going to promote me to watch Formula 2 a bit more next season, to see how Robert gets on, and also to see how Mick gets on as well. Because I do like Mick, but I'm not hyped over him as much as what other people are, I suppose. But if you are hyped over Mick, then of course continue with that. But I'm more team Schwartzman than I am team Mick Schumacher. So let's see how those two get on next season. Robert Schwartzman, however, came third in the Italian F4 series in 2015, the Formula Renault Cup in 2017, and like I said before, the Formula 3 series, the European series, sorry, in 2018. Again, he was battling with Mick Schumacher there, so let's hope they can reignite their little rivalry that they once had back in the day. So a lot of things to look forward to next season. But anyways, this is where I'm going to wrap up this little kind of reaction video to the news that's happened today. Thank you so much for watching. I might give this series like a bit of a name. I might create a series out of this. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. I'm thinking of something like called F1 Newsround or something like that. I'm not too sure. Any suggestions, let us know in the comment section below. But thank you so much for listening today. If you haven't already, go and check out our race preview that came out earlier today, and of course our debate show at the weekend. And of course, as we all know, this weekend marks the last weekend of Formula 1. Very sad, I know. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, I'll see you later.